The mysterious death of Gene Hackman and his wife and dog found dead in their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Gene Hackman, the legendary actor known for his unforgettable roles, has always kept his past under wraps. But now, mind-blowing details have emerged, exposing a hidden side of his life that no one saw coming. What has he been hiding for decades? Join us as we uncover the secrets of Gene Hackman's fascinating past. The mysterious passing of Gene Hackman and his wife. On February 26, 2025, renowned Hollywood actor Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, tragically passed away in their residence in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Their lifeless forms were discovered following the concern of a maintenance worker who raised the alarm when he received no reply from them. After nobody answered the door, he alerted the local security personnel, who then looked through a window and spotted the bodies, prompting them to dial 911 without delay. When the sheriff's deputies reached the scene, they discovered Hackman's corpse in the entrance and Arakawa's in a restroom. Both bodies were in an advanced state of decay, indicating that they had died some time ago. The bathroom contained prescription substances near Arakawa, but there were no immediate signs of foul play. A tragic element was the discovery of one of their dogs, an Australian Kelpie, also deceased in a kennel inside a bathroom closet. Fortunately, their other two dogs were still living on the premises. Hackman's loved ones had observed a deterioration in his health over the past few months. He used to enjoy cycling, but had given it up a year ago, becoming more of a recluse according to those around him. The workers who had interacted with the couple last mentioned that they hadn't heard from them in 2 weeks prior to the upsetting revelation. An inquiry was promptly initiated by officials to uncover the details surrounding the deaths. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department assured that foul play was not suspected, although the cause and timing of the deaths were not definitively established. Despite a thorough search for carbon monoxide leaks by the fire department, none were detected in the residence. The autopsy findings revealed no physical harm on either of the deceased individuals. Hackman's pacemaker revealed a crucial piece of information. His heart had ceased beating on February 17th. This indication implied that he had died over 7 days before he was found. The reasons behind the deaths of both Hackman and Arakawa were still unknown, but the authorities were actively collecting details. The sudden and tragic loss of Gene Hackman and his wife left many unanswered questions. In a desperate search for answers, the world begins digging into his past, where it all began. But what secrets did they find? A journey from struggles to stardom. Born in San Bernardino, California on January 30, 1930, Gene Hackman experienced significant changes and challenges in his early life. His parents, Anna and Eugene, moved several times before finally settling in Danville, Illinois, with his grandmother, Beatrice. While his father worked at a local newspaper, their household was far from stable. When Hackman was just 13 years old, his parents got divorced and his father left them behind. Despite these hardships, a young Hackman had dreamed of becoming an actor since the age of 10. He faced obstacles along the way, including joining the U.S. Marine Corps at 16, after lying about his age in an attempt to escape his circumstances. Serving as a field radio operator in China, Hawaii, and Japan for 4.5 years, Hackman gained valuable life experiences. Upon leaving the Marines in 1951, Hackman struggled to find his path in New York City, taking on various jobs to support himself. Although he enrolled in college through the GI Bill at the University of Illinois, studying journalism and television production, he left before completing his degree. He later returned to California in search of clarity. In 1962, tragedy struck when Hackman's mother died in a fire caused by smoking. This added to the challenges he had faced, but did not diminish his resolve. Despite enduring abandonment, military service, and personal loss, Hackman remained steadfast and ultimately rose to fame. How did Hackman rise to fame despite his background? Was it purely his talent, or was there something deeper at play? The relentless rise of an unlikely star. In 1956, Gene Hackman decided to pursue a career in acting. He joined the Pasadena Playhouse in California, where he crossed paths with Dustin Hoffman, a fellow actor facing challenges. Together, they found solace in their similar experiences of rejection and alienation. Their peers were not impressed with them and doubted their potential for success. Hackman received the lowest possible score at the school, but instead of discouraging him, these criticisms only made him more determined to succeed. Intent on proving everyone wrong, Hackman decided to relocate to New York City. While there, he developed a strong bond with another up-and-coming actor, Robert Duvall. The trio of Hackman, Hoffman, and Duvall became inseparable, often sharing living spaces as they chased their aspirations. Despite their unwavering dedication, success did not come right away. Hackman took on various jobs to make ends meet, including a stint at a Howard Johnson's restaurant. During this time, he unexpectedly crossed paths with a former teacher from the Pasadena Playhouse, who belittled him for his menial work and predicted failure. To make matters worse, a Marine officer who recognized him added insult to injury by calling him derogatory names. Rather than allowing the insults to defeat him, Hackman transformed them into fuel for his ambition. In his words, he viewed the situation as a personal challenge. He became unstoppable, actively pursuing any chance that arose, resorting to deception if needed to secure auditions. Even when faced with skepticism from others, he maintained faith in his abilities. Gradually, Hackman began securing minor roles. He was featured in several TV programs, such as Route 66, Naked City, and The Defenders. His off-Broadway premiere came in 1959 with The Saintliness of Marjorie Kempe. Despite receiving minimal acclaim for his first theatrical acts, he remained persistent. It was not until 1964, with his role in the successful play Any Wednesday, that Broadway acknowledged him, leading to opportunities in the movie industry. He made his debut in film with a role in Lilith, 1964, alongside Warren Beatty and Gene Seberg. After that, he landed additional supporting roles in First to Fight, 1967, and Banning, 1967. He was initially cast as Mr. Robinson in The Graduate, 1967, but was let go by director Mike Nichols during rehearsals because he appeared too youthful for the character. Despite this setback, Hackman continued to persevere without losing momentum. Later that year, he got his major opportunity when he landed the role of Buck Barrow in Bonnie and Clyde. The movie gained immense popularity, and Hackman's portrayal led to him being recognized with an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor. At last, the entertainment industry took notice of him. Even though Hackman was now gaining more recognition, his path was still full of surprises. He managed to juggle both theater and film, occasionally appearing in short-lived Broadway shows such as The Natural Look in 1967. At other times, he ventured into television with roles in shows like I Spy and CBS Playhouse. In 1969, his professional life was on the rise. He portrayed a skiing instructor in the movie Downhill Racer and took on the role of an astronaut in Marooned. In the same year, he took the lead in The Gypsy Moths, a movie centered around a group of parachutists, which developed a devoted fan base. Additionally, he acted alongside Jim Brown in both The Split and Riot. At one time, there was speculation about Hackman playing the part of Mike Brady in The Brady Bunch. However, his agent recommended against it. While some believe this rumor may be embellished, given Hackman's varied career trajectory, it wouldn't have been unexpected. Breakthrough and stardom. Gene Hackman did not achieve fame overnight, but when he finally received recognition, his career took off. Hackman, known for his exceptional talent, established himself as a Hollywood favorite, excelling in a range of genres, from intense dramas to comedies, showcasing a versatility that few actors could match. He first gained widespread acclaim with a nomination for Best Supporting Actor at the Academy Awards for his performance in I Never Sang for My Father, 1970. However, it was his role in The French Connection, 1971, that launched him into stardom. In The French Connection, Hackman played the role of the gritty and resolute New York detective known as Jimmy Popeye Doyle. His exceptional portrayal resulted in him winning the prestigious Best Actor Oscar and establishing himself as a highly in-demand actor in Hollywood. After his triumph, Hackman experienced a rapid advancement in his career. In just a span of 3 years, he appeared in 10 different films, making him one of the most prolific actors in the business. Some of the noteworthy projects he worked on during this time included Cisco Pike, 1972, Prime Cut, 1972, and the highly successful The Poseidon Adventure, 1972, a popular disaster movie that solidified his reputation. Hackman cherished working on Scarecrow, 1973, a project that paired him with Al Pacino. The movie was a Palme d'Or winner at Cannes and demonstrated Hackman's talent for both intense and subtle performances. His partnership with director Francis Ford Coppola on The Conversation, 1974, another Palme d'Or victor, led to an Oscar nod, further enhancing his standing in the industry. In 1974, Hackman also displayed his comedic skills in Young Frankenstein, where he portrayed the unforgettable character of Harold the Blind Man. Throughout the 1970s, Hackman demonstrated his versatility by playing a variety of roles. In Bite the Bullet, 1975, he portrayed a former Rough Rider, and he revisited his character Doyle in French Connection 2, 1975. Despite the disappointment of Lucky Lady, 1975, Hackman swiftly recovered with appearances in A Bridge Too Far, 1977, and March or Die, 1977. One of his most iconic performances during this time was as the wicked Lex Luthor in Superman, the movie, 1978. Hackman brought a blend of humor and danger to the role, making Luthor one of the most enduring villains in cinematic history. He reprised the part in subsequent films, cementing the character's status in popular culture. During the 1980s, Hackman continued to achieve success, often switching between main and supporting roles. He acted alongside Barbra Streisand in All Night Long, 1981, and with Warren Beatty in Reds, 1981. His participation in movies such as Eureka, 1983, Under Fire, 1983, and Uncommon Valor, 1983, highlighted his adaptability. Hackman also lent his voice to God in Two of a Kind, 1983, and portrayed a revered high school basketball coach in Hoosiers, 1986, a film later recognized as a classic in the sports genre. In Mississippi Burning, 1988, Hackman's role as an FBI agent probing a civil rights violation was highly praised, resulting in an Oscar nod. Even though he did not win, his performance was considered one of his strongest. In addition, he starred in The Package, 1989 that year, showcasing his ongoing successful acting career. In the 1990s, Gene Hackman found even more success in his career. In the 1990s, Gene Hackman continued to showcase his remarkable range. He appeared in films like Loose Cannons, 1990, Narrow Margin, 1990, and Class Action, 1991, but his standout performance came as the ruthless sheriff Little Bill Daggett in Unforgiven, 1992. This role earned him his second Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor and brought significant depth to the film, which won Best Picture. That same year, Hackman returned to Broadway to star in Death and the Maiden, further demonstrating his versatility. Hackman continued to impress in the mid-1990s with roles in Geronimo, An American Legend, 1993, where he played a military officer, and The Firm, 1993, where he portrayed a corrupt lawyer. In Wyatt Earp, 1994, he played the famous lawman's father. His performance in Crimson Tide, 1995, alongside Denzel Washington, was highly praised. Hackman also ventured into comedy with Get Shorty, 1995, and The Birdcage, 1996. His work with Clint Eastwood in Absolute Power, 1997, and Enemy of the State, 1998, solidified his reputation as one of Hollywood's most versatile actors. One thing about Hackman's story that has sparked debate is his sudden decision to retire at the peak of his career. What could be the true reason behind this? A legendary farewell to Hollywood. During the early 2000s, Gene Hackman demonstrated his status as a standout actor by working with top Hollywood stars and tackling a variety of roles that displayed his wide range of skills. From crime dramas to high-energy action flicks to offbeat comedies, Hackman brought his unique style to each and every character he portrayed. In 2000, he was featured in Under Suspicion, a thrilling theatrical work in which he acted alongside Morgan Freeman. In the same year, he had a lead role with Keanu Reeves in The Replacements, adding comedy and emotion to the realm of professional football. The next year, he portrayed a military leader alongside Owen Wilson in the military film Behind Enemy Lines, and acted alongside Sigourney Weaver in Heartbreakers, a humor-filled film about swindlers. He also portrayed a skilled thief in Heist, 2001, once more displaying his ability to make any character intriguing. In 2001, Gene Hackman delivered an outstanding performance in The Royal Tenenbaums, where he portrayed the eccentric head of a family. This role was a departure from his usual characters, showcasing his versatility as an actor by blending comedy with raw emotion. Critics praised Hackman for his portrayal, with The Hollywood Reporter even going as far as to describe his performance as flawless. His work in the movie not only earned him critical acclaim, but also landed him the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy, further solidifying his place among the greats in Hollywood. In 2003, Hackman was able to collaborate with his old friend Dustin Hoffman in the legal thriller Runaway Jury, which was adapted from John Grisham's novel. It was a long-awaited moment for fans to see two iconic actors working together on screen. The next year, he appeared in the comedy Welcome to Mooseport, co-starring with Ray Romano. This marked the end of his acting career. In the same year, Hackman was given the esteemed Cecil B. DeMille Award at the Golden Globes, honoring his remarkable impact on the film industry. This award celebrated a long and distinguished career that had significantly influenced the world of cinema. During a unique interview in 2004, Gene Hackman disclosed that he had no future movie plans and thought his time in acting was finished. Despite speculation from supporters that he might make a comeback, he solidified his retirement in 2008 when he announced it publicly while discussing his third book. Despite his absence from the film industry, Gene Hackman's voice continued to be present in the world of entertainment. In 2007, he provided narration for multiple episodes of America's Game, The Super Bowl Champions, a documentary series focused on sports. Subsequently, he made a brief return to narrating in 2016 and 2017 for two Marine Corps documentaries, The Unknown Flag Raiser of Iwo Jima and We, the Marines. In hindsight, Hackman acknowledged that his health was a major factor in his decision to retire. He revealed in 2009 that after a stress test, he became aware that his heart was not up to the challenges of acting. When questioned in 2011 about the possibility of a comeback, he quipped that he might think about it under the condition that it could be shot at his home with a limited crew. Even though Gene Hackman has retired from acting, his impact on Hollywood continues. With a career filled with memorable roles, he chose to exit the industry on his terms, showcasing that it is possible to leave at the peak of one's success. What kind of life did Hackman lead away from the spotlight? And why did he choose to keep certain parts of his past hidden? Keep on watching to find out more. A life beyond the screen. Gene Hackman was more than just a celebrated actor. His life beyond the boundaries of Hollywood was equally engaging. Whether it was his relationships with family and interests outside of acting, he approached each new experience with the same level of commitment that propelled him to stardom. Hackman tied the knot with Faye Maltese in 1956, and they were blessed with 3 kids, Christopher, Elizabeth, and Leslie. Unfortunately, his busy acting career meant he was frequently away from home, shooting movies in various places as his kids were growing up. After 3 decades of marriage, Hackman and Maltese decided to part ways in 1986. Despite the split, Hackman continued to dedicate himself to his career and self-improvement. After some time, he discovered romance anew with Betsy Arakawa, a classical pianist. Following a 7-year courtship, they tied the knot in 1991 and established themselves in a serene existence in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Their residence, showcased in Architectural Digest in 1990, was a remarkable fusion of southwestern architecture, perched on a 12-acre hill with awe-inspiring vistas of the mountains. This was a haven removed from the glamour of Hollywood, where Hackman relished in the serenity of the natural world and the companionship of his spouse. While Hackman was recognized for his powerful portrayals on screen, he also had a fun-loving side when it came to sports. During the latter part of the 1970s, he delved into the world of competitive car racing by becoming a member of the Sports Car Club of America. By 1980, he emerged victorious in the Long Beach Toyota Pro Celebrity Race and went on to participate in the esteemed 24 Hours of Daytona endurance race. His passion for velocity extended beyond his acting career and seeped into his everyday existence. Football was also a strong interest for Hackman. As a dedicated supporter of the Jacksonville Jaguars, he frequently went to their matches as a special guest of head coach Jack Del Rio, whom he had been acquainted with since Del Rio's days playing college football. Observing the Jaguars in action, provided him with a respite from the world of Hollywood and an opportunity to relish the excitement of the sport. Hackman had a keen interest in architecture and design, constructing and renovating 10 residences throughout his life. 2 of these homes were showcased in Architectural Digest. He found joy in the process of creating a home, but never felt the urge to settle in one location for an extended period of time. Upon completing a project, he was eager to tackle the next venture, continuously seeking new challenges. Even as he grew older, Hackman continued to stay engaged. Even in his 90s, he could frequently be spotted riding a bike, demonstrating that his vitality and zest for life endured. Gene Hackman's health battles and life after acting. Gene Hackman has experienced many challenging roles and dramatic situations in his life, both in front of the camera and behind the scenes. Despite his tough reputation, he has also encountered personal struggles that have pushed him to his limits and required him to show great strength and resilience. In 1990, Gene Hackman was working on several films like Loose Cannons, Postcards from the Edge, and Narrow Margin when he faced a serious health issue. Age 60, he started feeling chest pains that extended to his arm during a visit to Oregon. Not realizing the severity of the situation, he went to see a doctor. The medical team found a blocked artery that could have resulted in a heart attack within hours. Dr. Herbert Samler, the doctor who had cared for Hackman, told United Press International that the blockage was in a convenient spot for angioplasty. They used a small balloon catheter to clear the artery and prevent a potential life-threatening situation. Hackman later confessed that he had underestimated the seriousness of the situation. 14 years later, during an interview with Larry King in 2024, Hackman discussed his reflections on the past experience. When asked by King if he had felt scared, Hackman responded that he hadn't felt much fear because he hadn't fully grasped the severity of the situation at the time. He mentioned that the procedure was brief and he was able to leave the hospital on the same day. When inquired about his concerns for his health, Hackman stated that he made an effort to look after himself and did not have many worries. He mentioned that everyone has some anxiety about death, especially as they age, but his primary focus was ensuring the well-being of his wife and family. In the year 2009, Hackman decided to retire from his acting career due to health reasons. During an interview with Empire magazine, he disclosed that his doctor had warned him about the negative impact of the stress associated with filmmaking on his well-being. He mentioned that his heart was not capable of handling stress at that time. Subsequently, he chose to pursue a more peaceful lifestyle, focused on personal interests such as biking, fishing, painting, and watching independent cinema with his spouse in their New Mexico residence. However, Hackman's artistic inspiration remained strong. Alongside archaeologist Daniel Lenihan, he collaborated on 3 historical fiction novels and then went on to pen Western and crime novels solo. He expressed that writing presented a unique set of obstacles for him to overcome. He shared that it was a more solitary and manageable pursuit compared to being on a film set with a large crew. Even after retiring, Hackman encountered another medical emergency. At 81 years old in 2012, he was struck by a truck while cycling in Islamorada, Florida. Not wearing a helmet, he was airlifted to a Miami trauma center as a safety measure. The incident was verified by the Florida Highway Patrol, although Hackman's spokesperson assured everyone that he had only sustained minor injuries. She clarified that the reason for his airlift was due to his location on an island far from medical facilities. Hackman was discharged after a brief hospitalization, displaying his resilience yet again. What are the mysteries that still surround Hackman's life today, and what impact do they have on his legacy? The unsolved tragedy of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa. Many uncertainties are lingering after the unexpected and mysterious passing of Gene Hackman and his spouse, Betsy Arakawa. The discovery of their lifeless bodies, exhibiting signs of dehydration in their residence in Santa Fe, raises suspicions about the duration of their demise. Officials are still trying to identify the precise reason behind their deaths, creating an opportunity for speculation. Could it have been a result of natural circumstances, an unfortunate accident, or perhaps something more peculiar? Upon arrival at the residence, deputies noticed that the front door was ajar, sparking immediate concern regarding whether the couple had intentionally left it open due to feeling unwell or if there had been an intruder present before law enforcement's arrival. Hackman was discovered in a compact room by the back entrance, appearing as if he had collapsed, with a cane and sunglasses nearby indicating potential difficulty maintaining his balance. Conversely, Arakawa was located in a bathroom on the opposite end of the house, where a space heater had been knocked over and pills were strewn across the counter next to an open prescription bottle. The residence contained 3 animals. A pair of dogs were still alive, however. A third dog, an Australian Kelpie, was located deceased in a crate. The fact that the other 2 dogs were alive hinted at the presence of food and water until recently, but the Kelpie in the crate seemed to have died from lack of sustenance and dehydration. This indicated that the owners had likely been dead for quite some time before the discovery of the pets. Specialists suggested that continuous exposure to hot, arid air may result in the skin becoming rigid and leathery, usually occurring over a period of days or weeks. This indicated that Hackman and Arakawa had passed away prior to the discovery of their bodies. The inclusion of the space heater in close proximity to Arakawa added an element of intrigue, potentially accelerating the decomposition process by drying out the air. Nevertheless, without additional analysis, the precise timeline of events remained ambiguous. Fire officials and gas company workers conducted thorough inspections and confirmed there were no signs of carbon monoxide leakage, eliminating the possibility of poisoning. The autopsy results showed no presence of carbon monoxide in the victims' bodies. Furthermore, there was no evidence of a break-in at the residence, and the deceased individuals did not appear to have any physical injuries. Despite these conclusions, the investigation remained open to all possibilities. One suggestion was that it might have been a scenario in which one individual ended the other before ending himself or herself. However, these situations typically display noticeable indicators, like a written message or a deliberate setup of the environment, both of which were absent. Another idea was that the pair had made a joint decision to take their lives, possibly due to medical issues. Yet, in instances of this nature, individuals typically ingest a lethal dose while in close proximity to one another, whereas Hackman and Arakawa were discovered in different rooms. Another reason suggested was that one of them passed away before the other, maybe due to a tragic accident, a medical condition, or taking too much medication. It is possible that Hackman suffered a health crisis near the rear entrance, leading Arakawa to respond by taking medication out of distress. Nevertheless, authorities were awaiting toxicology findings to determine if any substances were involved. Their deaths may have been influenced by external factors as well. The possibility of severe dehydration or exposure to toxic substances could not be discounted. Authorities were examining their medical records to determine if any pre-existing health issues could account for their unexpected death. Authorities were still searching for answers, exploring all available clues. It may take weeks or even months to complete tests on the bodies. Phone records, emails, and medical records were being examined by the police to uncover any unusual occurrences in the days before their deaths. A question remained about the possible involvement of another individual in the situation. The unlocked front door hinted at the presence of another person. Speculations arose regarding whether it was a guest, a witness to the bodies before the authorities arrived, or someone with malicious intentions. Despite the absence of signs of a physical altercation, investigators were still delving into all potential scenarios. The deaths of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa are shrouded in mystery until conclusive medical tests are conducted. Questions linger about whether their demise was the result of a tragic mishap, a deliberate decision, or perhaps something more intricate. The truth behind their deaths is eagerly anticipated by the world. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.